Is this thing on? Yes, it is. Welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Alewolf, otherwise known as Ales, Gentleman Streamer, Beer Goggles 21, the excellence of an execution. And welcome back to a little corner of my stream I like to call Bar Fight, where we play fighting games. And of course today we're playing Street Fighter 6, or at least my version of it, which I'd like to call Promenade Fighter 6. We're a little more classy, we're a little more gentle with our street content, so I think a prom is a far better location than the streets. But a happy Friday to all of our viewers. Thank you very much for joining us today. It is the end of the week, as they say. Hopefully you had a successful week. Hopefully it's time to look forward to the weekend. Maybe start planning on some of those July 4th festivities. Celebrate Independence Day, as they say. Hopefully without the noisy fireworks that scare away my boys. But yeah, maybe some barbecue, something like that. That sounds incredibly tasty. But before we get onto the show, as usual, I'll go ahead and start talking about what's on tap today. And so, as I like to do during these afternoon streams, I'm going to have something from the non-alcoholic menu. This is Athletic Brewing's Upside Dawn Golden Ale. It's a very simple can design. It's got some polygonal graphics. It is essentially a sunrise. Yeah, and I like the simplicity of the can art style. One interesting thing about this particular beer is that the brewery in question is Athletic Brewing, which has actually been rising in the ranks among craft breweries in America. And the reason why it's been rising is because it offers strictly non-alcoholic varieties of beers. And mind you, they're not tasteless or anything like that. I've had a few of their offerings thus far, and they are very delicious. They retain all the flavor, and you have none of those alcoholic side effects. And as much as I crave those alcoholic side effects, I would rather have something that retains the taste so that I can stay functional. I can only imagine that the reason that they're called Athletic Brewing is simply because it is marketed towards athletes. Now, I am no athlete, but I'll certainly take your beer. Now, in terms of what a golden ale is, it's actually quite simple. Golden ales are kind of the simplest types of ales out there. Now, some of you might confuse them with other like pale ales or even golden lagers. The main difference between ales and lagers, of course, is the fact that ales are fermented using top fermenting yeast, whereas lagers are bottom fermenting. In addition to that, of course, ales are fermented in a slightly cooler to room temperature type of setting, well, cooler than room temperature, whereas lagers require much colder temperatures, much more like refrigeration. Golden ales are actually a slight offshoot of pale ales, and of course pale ales are known for their hoppiness. Golden ales are a little bit simpler than that. While they retain some of that hoppiness, they are actually a little more trying to showcase the taste of the grains, the malts, and it is kind of just the simplicity of flavor that brings their ability to shine forward and contrast them with their pale ale cousins. I certainly enjoy them. They're a little bit more robust than their lager counterparts while retaining some of those qualities that make lager stand out, like their crispness. So very delicious stuff. I know that they're simple, but in that simplicity lies some complexity. But that's enough of me talking about ales and golden ales. Let's see what Untapped has to say on the matter. Let's go to my alternate screen here. So I've had this one before, Upside Dawn Golden from Athletic Brewing, and it's a non-alcoholic beer, and it's actually a lager, which doesn't make sense. 0.5% alcohol by volume, so they weren't able to eke out every iota of alcohol. Shame on you, Athletic Brewing. No, I'm just kidding. This says refreshing, clean, balanced, light-bodied. Aromas subtle with floral and earthy notes. brewed with premium organic malts from US and Germany along with a combo of English and traditional hops to the golden ale style. Only 50 calories. I wasn't counting my calories, but thank you very much for the reminder there. Let's go back over here and actually make up our minds about what this beer is like. And today I have a fun glass. This is the West Coast Craft Can Invitational glass. It is shaped as a can, and it was a beer festival celebrating craft beers served in canned cultures back in 2020, right before the pandemic was about to hit. And boy, did it hit. Let me go ahead and open this. And so, as usual, Ale stays quiet while he pours beer so as to not incur the wrath of misfortune. So as you can see, it's got a very crisp body, almost transparent. You can see some bubbling there, kind of like a fizzy champagne. It's got a good head, so kind of that characteristic ale head. Let me say, in terms of aroma, some good noticeable hops there. Certainly feels like some of the noble hops are present, and I'm assuming that that's a fact simply because it's got some German influence there. So, Fang and Ale, dear viewer. So very, very light, very light. I want to say 1 out of 5 in terms of body composition. It's got that hoppy character. It certainly surpasses the steely mark, which I generally like to say is more of a consistent hop flavor. This is definitely hoppy, and you can certainly feel it. It actually clenches the tongue when it passes it, and it finishes strong at the back of your palate. It is very much malt forward. I can certainly taste the malt in this particular beer. If you were to hand me this and I would drink it, I would say this is refreshing. This is simply a golden ale. I can't tell that it is non-alcoholic, and maybe that's something that they're trying to showcase here. Like I said, this is a lighter tasting beer. It retains the flavor of a standard golden ale, but it doesn't pack any of the any extra baggage, if you want to call it that. So very enjoyable. I certainly like it. Upside Down Golden, an Ales and Fails certified beer. Please enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and update my ticker here before we move on. You know, when I started this stream, I want to say about almost 2 years. I think in November is when I'll hit my 2-year mark. I never thought that I would be drinking, sampling gluten-free beers and non-alcoholic beers, but I guess here we are. I'm glad that this stream has given me the opportunity to actually dive deeper into some of these offerings. Let me go ahead and rate this. I would say a solid 3, which is actually very much what I tend to rate golden ales that I like. I don't think it misses a beat in terms of its lack of alcohol. It's actually quite a fair golden ale entry. So I'm gonna continue to I'm gonna reiterate that 3. Okay, but that is enough about beer. There can never be enough beer. With that, let's go ahead and move on to Street Fighter 6. Let's see. I love how I missed the biggest button on my Stream Deck. Okay, and let me put on sound here. Okay. I'm still playing with the HoriPad Commander something or other PlayStation 5 controller, which allows me 6 buttons on the face. And maybe I'll do some training before I jump into the action. Once again, feel free to request a match. I'm certainly open to it. If you want to mop the floor with old ales, this is the time to do it. Uh, Maybe I want to say some practice before I jump in. Just so that I remember my controls. I actually haven't touched this game since last week I played, so don't expect myself to have gotten any better since then. And let's do that. Once again, our current main is Juri Han. And let's go with Manon, which has proven quite interesting in recent times. Welcome, friend of the stream, and I go. How are you doing this fine afternoon? And just make a face. Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. Well, that's interesting. And that is the move I favor the most. Of course, our grab there. Oh right, I forgot that that's one of the things that often, I want to say maybe not confuses necessarily, but kind of just throws me off every once in a while is the fact that most of Juri's attacks are actually kicks, and so even the punch buttons are kicks, and so sometimes I forget that I'm actually inputting kicks where I'm supposed to be inputting punches. Okay. Kaboom. Okay, I think that's good. One of the things that I did want to practice with is the drive rush. Okay. And so it's like you actually rush forward, but on the second tap forward, you press the parry button. Wait. Okay, I think we're good to go. I might try peppering that drive rush every once in a while, but I doubt that we're gonna get that far. Maybe let's go to the, what do you call it? The, not the battle. Yes, I think it's the battle hub that I'm looking for. Then we may play some ranked matches. Sure, let's go to North America 009. And let me go ahead and post this on the chat, just in case anybody wants to hop in. Yeah. And let me pin that there. Okay. Now let's see if anybody's available for a scrap. Just the placement of my controllers giving me a little too many wires around here. That's maybe the curse of the streamer. You've got way too many things happening on your desk. Alright, let's see. Seems like everyone is just hanging out. Maybe I will just... If I don't find an open spot, I might as well just sit down somewhere and assume that somebody might sit down as well. And let me go ahead and go to solo training while I'm doing this. Doesn't hurt to train, right? Ah, okay, so E Honda. Ooh, babe. Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. Oof, took it straight to the gut. Alright, so part of it at least connected. Haha, wow. He got me right as I was doing my drive attack or something like that. Everything is drive. Sure, I'll request a rematch. Just to watch myself get my butt kicked once again. Oof. That's amazing. Ah, and it's the frames, it's the frames. That is an amazing combo. Ooh, I think he was waiting for me to do that. Landed right on my trap. You incredibly smart individual. Ah, he knew it was coming. Empty. That's amazing. You know what? An excellent victory, sir. I think I'm gonna leave this cabinet. Let me find somebody else. But that is how we roll here at the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. That is how we roll. We lose. Let's see, who else wants to fight? Hey, this guy seems to not. It's a Dawson player. I wonder if this person is not active. I wonder how they get these cool promo stickers or whatever. Alright. I like that. That's a friendly Dawson. Ooh, I forgot the fact that Dawson actually teleports. They called my shot. Look at that. Oof. The dreaded knee shot. Oh, you. Ah, yoga noogies and some slaps. My greatest weakness. Wonder if this person will actually... Okay, interested in another match. Oof. Jeez. Relentless. Let's go. Oh, come on. Ah, that's hilarious. Look at that, I learned one thing. Oof, a perfect finish. Alright, they did well, but I'm gonna leave this cabinet. How do I play you? I would assume you have to jump into the North America server 0009. If you can try and do that in IGO. And I would assume you would find me just hanging out over here, losing to random people on the field. Let's see. Who else is around? You know, one thing that I wish that they would implement into this UI is just jumping. I feel like it would make things a lot easier. Okay. Monkey business. Once again, maybe it might simply be a matter of jumping into one of these machines and waiting for another player to jump in. Gives me a moment to crack the old digits. Yeah, so how are what are we doing this weekend, fellas? What are we doing, Ale Pack? Hopefully having some fun plans. I'm certainly having a few beers. An Ale Wolf Classic. Nice. So I'm trying to learn how to do some of these combos. Oof. Oh, wait a second, did I just randomly switch characters? Yes, I did. Weird. Oh, I input the other command as opposed to the kick. Sorry, as opposed to the punch. I'ma look for you. Yeah, I'm sitting down in the cabinet just waiting. So feel free to try to find me. And if you don't find me, I suppose I could also just go and look for you. Oh, here we go. Blanca. Is that you and I go? I should probably add you to my players list. Mexico. Let's do this. Alright. Oof. And that electricity is just this huge deterrent here. Imagine that. Oof. And the big what do you call this? Not clothesline. What? Kick, double leg kick. I don't know what you call it. Jeez, those are some moves. Was that simultaneous? That's amazing. Oof, and yet another one of those very interrupting kicks. That was a solid one. No, not me. Okay. Let me leave this cabinet then, and maybe what is your handle? Do people still call it handles? Oh, there you go. In I go. Let's see if we can find an empty cabinet. Maybe over here. There we go. Okay. Boom. It's funny how I like to say success when all I'm doing is fighting a training dummy. That's like speech. All right. First blood. Oof. And a smash on the shoulder. I should really remember my parries. Jeez. And of course, the drive combo or drive rush can take 2 hits. Boom. Jeez. Ah, there we go. And then you graze the floor in Incinerate. Wow. Very nicely done, Inigo. Very, very impressive performance. Let's have another go if you're interested. All right. Oof, and the counter. Too predictable. Maybe I got lucky on that one. And I actually don't know which one wins whenever you do 2 of those at the same time. Jeez. Fight to the bitter end. I need some water here. Ken sure has a nice hefty chin in this game. Very becoming, I want to say. Oof. And there we go. A gentleman's finish if I ever saw one. Ooh. And of course, I keep forgetting what this drive thing is called. Is it Drive Rush? It can't be Drive Rush. No, Drive Rush is the other thing. Maybe let's do best 3 out of 5. Unless you'd like to move on, of course. Perhaps not then. I'm watching. Okay, wait, we can. Totally. Once again, an awesome performance. You're actually quite good at this. Or we can certainly go one more time. That's also good. Yeah, it's actually impressive because it seems to me like you said that you only started playing this between last week and this week, so you've certainly know the name of the game very. Ooh. And boom. And of course, the comeback. I gotta go for a faster attack on those. Welcome back, Connor Coates. How are you doing this fine afternoon? Ah, of course, totally missed that one. Sometimes I like to use that particular special as an anti-air. I don't know that it works very well. Jeez, okay, what was the point of... Ooh, I just stuck it to the face. And this is certainly one reason why I miss King of Fighters, the role. I'm good, about to play Zelda Skyward Sword. Hey, that's awesome. Very cool. And I believe you said that you weren't playing Tears of the Kingdom yet. You were working on getting some funding for it or something to that effect. I think that's how that story went. Is this your first time playing Skyward Sword? Good game, bro. Well, don't. You're being modest there. You completely destroyed me, and I salute your skills. I clearly need to put some more work into this. But yeah. No, it's a fun game. It's good. I'm not being chatting before I go to the cafe. Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, always appreciate your company, and thank you very much for showing viewers out there what a real player plays like. Good times. We're all learning here, folks. Especially me. Now, I played it a long time ago, but not recently. Are you playing it on original hardware? Let's see if I just need to practice some more here, folks. Clearly, I need to get the juices flowing here. And like I said, one thing that I still haven't mastered at all, or at least gotten any practice with, is the drive rush. But of course, then I would first have to start working on combos. And much like the title of this stream, I'm very much a poker. I've been a poker since Street Fighter 2, and so it's very difficult for me to actually wrap my head around trying to go for that skill. Haha, you're nice. Thank you, bro. Thank you for putting me on this game. No, I'm glad that watching me perform here actually got you interested in a game like this. It is very fun, and no doubt I think both you and I will probably continue playing it for a long time. Alright, let's see if we can find somebody else. Yeah, on the Wii, but I'm loading it from USB. Gotcha. What would you say is your favorite Zelda, Connor? Oh, actually, and speaking of Zelda, I actually finished the first quest on The Legend of Zelda for NES just Wednesday night. So I guess the next time I go back to that Zelda game, I'll probably try the second quest. For sure. Yeah, I kind of just need to put in more time into this. Like I said, the majority of the time that I've actually played around with this game is on stream, and not to make excuses for myself, but I'm gonna make excuses for myself. It does take a very specific muscle in the brain to know that you're running a stream at the same time that you're, fighting somebody here, and maybe dialoguing through it. Which is not to say that I haven't gotten a little bit better at it, but it's still that 10% of brain that goes into running the stream would probably be a little bit helpful in getting better at this. End of excuse. Oh, and E-Honda. A Link to the Past. That's an awesome game. Very much enjoy A Link to the Past. I haven't played it, I want to say, in years now, but it's due for a replay. Maybe that's something that I can put on my list of games to play. And also the 3DS sequel, I like that. I liked its graphics. I liked its gimmick. But I've never actually played. I actually own it. I've never played it. Ooh, this guy just completely amazing. Let's go. Nice. Oh, come on. He flew right over my attack. Ah, I got one shot. Look at me celebrating when one attack goes in. Jeez, this guy is relentless. Oof, amazing. I wonder if this is the same Honda player that I fought when I first got to this location. I'm gonna leave this cabinet just to see what Inigo has to say here. So today I found this girl, loved her voice, survived. Finally realized why some people would be together and latched on for a while. It's like this potent feeling you can't get enough of. I need to chase that in real life. That's the type of thing I think it's meant to be. I mean, I think whenever you vibe with certain attributes of somebody, it kind of just like bites you like a bug. And of course, it's been described, by several people. Like I don't want to say maybe that it's maybe the exact same thing, but that feeling of butterflies. And I know that that's generally reserved for like more falling for somebody, but it's kind of like this energy that just kind of boils in you and just like it almost like prompts you to want to interact with that individual. And it's very energizing. Certainly chase it if you can. That sounds amazing. And I go, let's see, Connor. I used to have a 3DS, but I sold it for an N64 and a PS1, and then the PS1 didn't work. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that it wasn't meant to be. I know that PS1s in this day and age are probably on their last breaths in terms of. I know that at least original PS1s, like after a while, they had issues with running their discs, and so they had to be turned sideways and things like that. So it's amazing that people have working PS1s now. I'm not surprised that the one that you got didn't end up working. Beautifully said. I'm going off the cuff here. My good man. And it's funny. Once again, in my old age, that feeling doesn't actually disappear under the right circumstances. Why is this golden glowing yellow? Maybe I will fight this person. It was just that the controller that doesn't work. I'm gonna buy a new controller at some point though. Oh, I'm sure you could find a replacement for that. That's cool. PlayStation 1 games were actually quite fun. They were very innovative. I feel like that was a time where like any game, any foreign game could be released, even if it wasn't like really good for the American market. Lots of fun RPGs were developed during that time. Ooh, the counter. Boom. Just control it from right that point and explode. I need to find an opening here, change the momentum, as they say. But that chance never came. I think I need to add more leverage onto my low punches and low kicks to make openings here, because I'm constantly going for the drive rush, and that's not really working. Okay, by the way, did you try to make your avatar look like you? Because for me, I wanted to make him look serious but silly at the same time. Uh, so here's a funny thing. Here's an unpopular thought, okay? I don't know if you've gotten a chance to play the one-player adventure here in Street Fighter 6. Um, a lot of people like it, but I had issues with it because it forced me to play as, what's his name? Duke? I forget what his name is. And so, I was already annoyed by that. But then in order to like change the appearance of your avatar in terms of like clothes and things like that, you actually have to progress through the story. And so I literally played up until I could find the first shop, bought something that looked halfway decent and went with it. I was like, I don't want to play like a naked guy or like one of these guys with like a tank top. So yeah, this is kind of what you get. Of course, the pompadour is kind of what I generally go for in terms of my own appearance, and then the purple is kind of just my theme in general for this particular stream. It's golden because it's similar rank. Oh, hey. So you mean I actually stood a chance? Thank you for letting me know. I gotta find more of these people, I guess. Maybe while I'm talking, I'm just gonna spectate. How about that? I got an old Windows XP laptop from a relative. Oh, gotcha. Not similar rank, he might be a smurf. You mean one of these folks that kind of just like hide their... Wow. I didn't know spectating was like... Oh, I see. I guess the match is caught up. Which is nice because I actually get to drink some. Yeah, so this is probably going to be the last week in a row that I'm playing Street Fighter 6. I'm thinking that next week... So I kind of just try to move in like 4-week schedules. So next week I'll probably try a different game. And I was thinking between King of Fighters 15 and Monster Hunter Rise. At this point I'm thinking that Rise might be the way to go. Simply because it's a little easier. I know how to play it pretty well. And it's another game that I can play with people. Let's see. I hate fighting this girl. Her throws do more damage than usual. I guess they both just decided to stop playing. You know what? I'm gonna sit here and see what happens. Wow, that is a ridiculous avatar. Oh, there was somebody behind that chair. I like how the personal dynamics are kind of emulated here in this virtual room. Like if I was actually in this place that was had all these Street Fighter 6 machines, I would probably just walk around exactly how I'm walking around here and not trying to disturb people who clearly are busy. Maybe that's a character flaw. I seen the Undertaker in this hub. It was well made too. Yeah, I think I read an article the other day that people are just creating crazy avatars in this game. If you like put some time into it, you can actually do some crazy stuff. Not me though. I just wanna fight. Speaking of the Undertaker, I was watching this YouTube documentary. Well, not really a documentary. It was this video, like 20 minutes long, that the Undertaker and Mick Foley, oh my god, were watching their 1998 Hell in a Cell battle, and they just talked over it, and it was really enjoyable. I really like. Of course, everyone knows that match. Boom. Ah, caught him. I was about to parry. That is the might of Zangief. Feel like drinking an Imperial Russian stout at this point. Oh, come on. You crazy, crazy man. And of course, the German suplex. Oh yeah, I saw that Taker talking about having an out-of-body experience throwing him. Yeah, it's kind of like interesting what your mind might go through when you think that you might have just killed somebody, right? I don't disbelieve him. Boom. Oh, great. I thought that I had a chance on that one. Alright, Muscle Mountains. That is not my pet name for them, that is what they are actually called. Come on, you. Hey, what are you? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen. How are you supposed to even get up from that? Ooh, and the dreaded gut punch. Sounds like trying to take the heat off Foley, because I'm sure Taker feels guilty. Yeah, and I know that they both planned to do this thing, and I'm sure they talked about it. I think during that particular segment, they were talking about the fact that, you know what, the only three people that knew that it was happening was Taker, Mick Foley, and Vince McMahon. So I think maybe just trying to dispel whatever rumors you might consider when they did that. And, you know, at the time, Mick Foley was actually my favorite wrestler. I think, actually, it is very, what am I trying to say? Without a doubt, Mick Foley was my favorite wrestler during the Attitude Era. Even through his dude love phase, he was great. We all have those kinds of phases. Wait, I thought there was somebody there. Yeah, let's fight this person. Still drinking an golden ale from Athletic Brewing. Okay, so and there's that drive rush again. I should really go find some time to watch wrestling. At least, what's it called? NEW? NAW? Oh, the one where Kenny Omega's in right now. Some pretty awesome stuff seems to be happening there. What with their Forbidden Door pay-per-view and whatnot. But there's also some fun stuff happening in the WWE. I know that the faction that... what's his name? Not Seth Rollins, but the Tribal Chief. His faction apparently just got got dismantled. And then of course I'm always just interested to see what Finn Balor's doing. Let's see, watch Money in the Bank tomorrow. It starts at 1:30. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If only I had time to actually sit down for 3 hours uninterrupted and just watch something as enjoyable as that. Drink some beers, reminisce about life. All right. What? Did he counter my counter? That is amazing. Look at this guy. I owe it to myself. Maybe. But I haven't yet paid for all the things that I've done. Oh, beautiful. Can I get can I get an opening? Oh man, that is some good exercise. Alright, I'm going to give them a thumbs up and I'm gonna leave cabinet. I think maybe after this what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to rank matches and I'll leave my player name on the chat so that if people want to actually fight, they can do that. And then I'll go on a micro break. So let me get out of here. Let's go back to fighting ground. And so what my X. So there we go. I think people can probably find me with my user code. Let me go ahead and type that in here. And maybe that way people can proposition me. One of the few times that somebody can proposition me and I will not slap them. I would never slap them. Okay, so 17705 27455. I think that's how people would find me. There we go. Let me go ahead and pin this. Okay. And go back here. Actually, let's go back here. This is a nicer screen. But with that, let me go back to intermission over here. I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. I'll try to make it less with something else to drink, some more chatter. Stay tuned, Ale Pack. Okay, and I just realized that I actually did not leave it. That is a streaming fail right there. I'm literally standing up from my desk and then I see like that the match is starting. I'm like, what is happening? Boom. This is what I get for speaking ill of Luke. Alright, the perfect way to go into an intermission. I forgot to stop the queue indeed. Let me go ahead and quit. Alright. No, I don't want to search for opponent. Alright, there we go. So I'll leave it here. And now we'll go into intermission. Okay, and welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twist Stream, folks. I'm Ale Wolf, your host, otherwise known as Ales, gentleman streamer, the excellence of in execution, the barstool philosopher. And welcome back to a block I like to call Bar Fight, where we try and play with other players across the world, hopefully some viewers, which we've had some of that this afternoon already. And certainly watch as old Ales gets what am I trying to say here? Doesn't fare as well as you think he might fare. Before we continue on with the fun antics of that, though, let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap next. And again, with our non-alcoholic series, because it is still too early to start with that business. This one is a helping from Surreal Brewing Company. It's their non-alcoholic milkshake IPA. And as you can see, it's got the artwork of a polygonal dragon. It's actually quite nifty, I think. I like it. When I saw it on the aisles, it certainly called out to me. So what exactly is a milkshake IPA, you might ask? Well, you've heard me talk about hazy IPAs before. Hazy IPAs are like IPAs, except that rather than use the high hop content during the brewing process, they're actually thrown in the vat during the fermentation process. And what that allows, what that particular transaction allows, is for there to be less hop flavor that would have come as a result of boiling those hops. The hops actually bestow more of a floral and aromatic character to the beer itself. And the other fun aspect about hazy IPAs is that they're largely unfiltered, so they're actually thick. You can actually see a lot of the fermentation sediment in the beer itself. It gives them this very interesting aspect of like juicy beers, and they're very popular these days. Milkshake IPAs are actually a little different than that. They're actually hazy IPAs, but the main difference is that during the brewing process, you're actually throwing some lactose sugar into it. And so lactose, of course, is the main sugar in milk. As you can imagine, lactose milkshake, that's where it gets that particular character. And so what you end up having is a hazy IPA with a milk-like quality to it, which is very enjoyable. I very much enjoy my milkshake IPAs. They might throw other fun stuff in there that are associated with milk, like vanilla is actually quite common in milkshake IPAs. But that's what I have to say on the matter. Let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say here. Let's go here. Okay, so milkshake IPA from Surreal Brewing Company. I've actually never had this one before, and of course it's a non-alcoholic beer. It's an IPA. It's a non-alcoholic IPA brewed with vanilla, oats, and orange. So that's an interesting flavor combo. I think I'm looking at some like orange milkshake or something like that. Might be what we end up getting out of this. So let me go back to intermission. This here. Oh, great. And we've got an explosive can on our mists. Give me just a second here, folks. I need to get a paper towel. So, one of the things that you definitely can't control when opening a beer is how it was transported. And of course, sometimes you simply open them and they'll get everywhere. Okay, so the rest of this pour is not too bad. You can certainly see the consistency of the hazy beer already. It's more of a translucent rather than transparent. And it already smells quite milky. Certainly some notes of vanilla on the nose. Very light citrus, and that might be alluding to the orange itself. As you can see, quite cloudy right there. And a thick head, as it is common for ales. Fang an ale, dear viewer. That is very milky. I'm trying to think of a milk drink. It almost tastes like an effervescent horchata, if that makes any sense. And maybe what I'm reading there is the oats that were brewed into this particular beer. There's very little of a hop character there. Maybe it's a little bit towards the background, but nothing that particularly calls out to me. It's very creamy. It certainly floats above the tongue, which is kind of just that swimming nature that I find in creamy stuff. If you were to tell me that somebody added creamer to this particular beer, I would probably believe you. And yeah, very light orange taste. It almost tastes like a tangerine orange over like a grapefruit or something like that. More like a sweet orange. So I very much enjoy this. This is probably one of my favorite non-alcoholic beers that I've had in a while. So yeah, Milkshake IPA from Surreal Brewing. I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for more stuff from them. With that, let me go ahead and update my ticker here. And in terms of a rating, let's go ahead with a 3.5. I'm pretty impressed. I like it. This is a solid milkshake. First time drinking it overall. So yeah, Milkshake IPA from Surreal Brewing. Go on and find it. And let's go back to our game over here. Question. Do you always try out different drinks on your stream and then review or revisit some old ones on stream that you liked? Well, I think I try to drink new ones on stream just so that I get a first impression. But I don't know how well you keep up with my reviews. You might notice that the ones that end up going very late at night are generally repeats just because I want to finish with something familiar. And generally it's like a stout or something like that. So those I've had like 15, 16 check-ins of those. But yeah, I do like to just have a reaction towards like a new beer. But yeah, let's go back to the game over here. Everybody's wondering, why is Ailes not fighting? What's he doing? Yeah, everybody's saying that. Alright. So let's go to a ranked match. Like I said, anybody watching can certainly try and hit me up for a match. But I'm going to try to get... trying to increase my skill here by fighting seemingly people who are my same level. Seemingly, of course. And this queue generally goes very quickly, so maybe I'm just gonna wait here. I could just go to practice, I guess. Oh no. Alright. Good old Zangief. Boom. It's kind of just difficult to go after Zangief sometimes, at least particularly for me, because I do like to get in close. And of course, that's kind of where Zangief thrives. Oh, and I wanted to go into the special right there, but... No, that is wild. That is wild, folks. It's always satisfying to actually pull that one off. The small victories that Ailes has to settle for. Ooh, and a DDT. Zangief, is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? Sure, let's request a rematch. Gotta learn from our mistakes. Or not. Boom. There you go. Oh, I forgot that he can grab you midair. This guy. Oh, what? Is that a reverse tombstone pile driver? I think I did just a bit better there. Oh wait. It's still... Oh yes, it is searching for opponents. You gotta juggle Zangief, not let him catch you. Yeah, and it's just kind of difficult sometimes to keep that distance. Let's go to Bather's Beach. Very impressive specimen, Marissa. Yeah, I think it pauses while it's going through screens, but thank you for noticing. So now it's searching again. If only my opponents were that easy to... There we go. Alright, Ryu. I haven't been drinking enough water. Not that I need water while I'm drinking NA beer. Oof. Ah, and I jumped the gun there. The counter. Ah, and I got too cocky. I waited. Marissa's Zarya from Overwatch. I can see the resemblance. Maybe siblings from another mother. Boom. And the hurricane kick. I think I got a few good pokes in there. And I think I can generally stop the drive rushes if I do very quick low punches. Oof. Haha, just waiting for the right moment. Now that was incredibly well timed. Nice guy. Boom. This guy knows his combos. Keep it light, Inigo. Keep it light. Alright, let's go back to the previous mode. Oh, man. Alright, Cammy. I feel like there was a large buzz around Cammy when this game first started. And unfortunately, it was the wrong type of attention. Kaboom. I actually used to play Cammy for a while in Street Fighter V. But of course I kind of just fell off after a while. I feel like she has a lot of specials that demand follow-up, which I wasn't really capitalizing on. Ooh. I really like how low her spiral arrow goes. It is very difficult to deflect. Nice. For them, that is. Great. And so that my initial strategy didn't work there. Very solid. She's a really good rush character. No, absolutely. What did she even do there? Was that like a Hurricane Rana? And once again, I kind of just failed. The follow-up is just difficult sometimes, especially if they bounce, which is generally where expert players thrive, actually, juggling people and whatnot. Just need to devote hours to this. Nice. Oh, great. Wow. Ah, drilled into oblivion. Nicely done. The opponent's details, quit rank matches. Let's see. I thought her character was American. Is she like a spy? Why she has... I think that she was special forces for the British military. I think that was her... That's how she was introduced into the story. Though that's just like her superficial job. I think she was actually secretly a clone of M. Bison. If that makes any sense. It does not make any sense. But yes, officially she's part of the British Special Forces. That is a delicious milkshake IPA. Alright, let's see. Ah, Manon. I should probably also start using more of my resource system. What are they doing? Nice. Wow. They knew exactly what to do. Oh, we're just exchanging drive rushes here. Come on. Capitalize. Well, it's worth it for watching Manon's level 3. Honestly, I was trying to do that myself, so maybe I lost focus of the game there. Manon the Canon. Ooh. And I thought I was putting pressure there. It is difficult though not to fight in this beach and not think, gee, I wish I was there. Ah, come on. And the comeback, they were waiting for it. I think I'm too obvious with that thing. Oh, I see. Jeez. Imagine that. Eked out a victory. That is a good milkshake IPA. Ah, great. Nice turnaround. Gotta love that glitter. And of course I was talking about that movie with what was the name of that singer? Mariah Carey. Why would I forget the star of every single Christmas? Alright, but I think I have to maybe start focusing on some of the Fuha techniques, or Fuhajin. I forget what the exact pronunciation is, but I think those actually allow me for some pretty fun openings. DJ. Music Man DJ. His projectiles are better than mine. Wow. Wow. Nicely called. Nice, a solid one. DJ is Lucio from Overwatch again. Let's go. Drink to that. Nice. What are you doing, DJ? What are you doing? Got him. Let's call this the victory of the session. Seems like devs copying each other's ideas. There's always a bit of that. Alright, now let's completely break my record. Covered at the last minute. I should have found an opening first before launching into that. The power of gravity. Oh, come on. That is ridiculous. That is amazing stuff. DJ is a trickster. He reminds me of Mirage from Apex, as ability of huge payout risk as well. Yeah, I gotta say he's certainly an interesting fellow. Alright, let's go for broke here. And the combo, sorry, the counter I mean. It's like piston punch. Seems like the gloves are off. Good times. go. Too far away. Ah, and I wanted to do an aerial there, which might have saved me from that particular low attack. Maybe. Alright. What's our time here, folks? Maybe 15 more minutes. Alright. Train against your opponent's character. Wonder if you can just leave the computer. I think there's probably a way where you can just ask the computer to fight you in training mode. Like that way. And recording. Maybe there's a, let's see. Dummy settings. CPU. There we go. I think that might be a bit more productive. Ah, classic Cammy. Boom. Ah, the counter. Caught her. Wow. Boom. What are we even doing here? Putting on a good show, I guess. I think this is the first time I've seen this one. Wow. Did that just take my head off? Did this just become a Mortal Kombat game? If you're ever online when not streaming, want a training partner for this game, I got you. Thank you for the offer. It'd be nice to hop on mic and with good old Dales. I'll certainly keep that in mind, Inaigo. Appreciate it. Let's request that Cammy skin. That is her original skin from Street Fighter 2. Or costume, I guess. Certainly favored amongst the fighting game community. Wow. Let's go. Oh, great. I got the best of her. I think I got under her skin. Oh, great. Ooh, got her. And the room just got hotter. Alright, that was a good one. Let's see if we can request rematch. Counter. Got her. Oh, great. Yes. That back kick certainly has some good reach. Ah, parry the whole thing. I was going for the special there. I think she knew I was going for the critical. Sorry, for the drive. The juices are flowing indeed. Oh, great. That was smart though. Ha! Now that was a buzzer beater if I ever saw one. Whew. It is certainly nice to have an eloquent match with somebody in similar level. Every once in a while anyways. I feel like sometimes you do get a lot more learning from that. Train against your opponent's character. And I think I might take one more match before moving on with the day. Alright, and it's a Ken fighter. Is that Nick Fury in the background? Should have gone for the high. I think my reflexes are getting just a little bit better. Here's wondering if not having beer should be my standard when I play fighting games. Nah. Got him. I gotta... Whenever people start throwing fireballs, I really just gotta parry. Let's go. Oh, come on. And I was close enough to know that I could actually go through his fireball if I did a drive attack. Ah, broke it. Too fast, too fast. Called incorrectly, folks. Ah, let it go too early. Ah, great. Down I go. Alright, I think we can do one more. My hat's off to you, Ken Masters. Ah, broke it. Couldn't get through the momentum there. Called my shot. Once again called my throw. And that should have been an easy victory. But I think, once again, it's a sort of thing where you think you've got it wrapped up, but that's when you corner a snake, as they say. And they go for broke. Let's go ahead and quit here. Okay. That was good. That was fun. Oh, I forgot I was in training. Let's get out of here. Okay, so let's go back to intermission here for a second. Okay, so that was the Ales and Fails Twitch stream for today, this afternoon, Friday, at least in my small corner of the world. I don't know that we did that much better than last time, but I think I'm beginning to internalize some things and where I'm lacking. Now, in order to actually apply that, though, I think it's gonna take some good time before that happens. But so it goes. You know, we don't simply play a game because we assume we're going to win every time, or even 5% of the time. We play because it's fun and because we're learning things. We're exercising our fighting game muscles, I guess. And that is actually it for my streams this week. Check out my stream schedule for what I'll be streaming next week. I'm going to choose something new for the retro corner. It might very likely be Radical Dreamers, and actually for this bar fight corner, which happens on Fridays, I'll probably be playing Monster Hunter, though there might be a chance that I'm doing King of Fighters again. We'll see how I'm feeling on that particular day. I will definitely still go back to Street Fighter 6 at some point. I'll probably play it offline, and I definitely want to come back to it when they start adding new characters. Not that I plan on changing my character, but that's always a fun time to come back to a game. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Yeah, and I go. Hopefully you have an awesome weekend, and hopefully we'll catch up again next time on the stream. But all that being said, let me go ahead and find my button before I do my well-known catchphrase. Stay thirsty, LPAC. We'll see you again.